Welcome to Lesson 5 of the Government Notes. This lesson is about the Constitution. The first part of the Constitution is called the Preamble, and it's the introduction. It outlines the purpose and guiding principles. And since I happen to have it memorized, I'm just going to say it for you. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and establish liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. There was one line in there that I know it's not quite right, but you get the idea. There was a Schoolhouse Rock song, and that's how I remember it. So then we have Article 1, which talks about the legislative branch, or Congress. It is bicameral, which means two houses make up Congress, which is the Houses of Representatives and the Senate. The House of Representatives is based on state population. Representatives of the House of Representatives are elected to represent districts in each state. The voice of the people, they have 2-year terms. We have 435 current members. Wisconsin has 8, and Mark Pocaine for Beloit 2nd District. The Senate has broad interest of the entire state, equal representation per state, 6-year terms, 100 total members. Ron Johnson and Tammy Baldwin are for Wisconsin. Powers of the legislative branch. They have enumerated powers, which are directly stated in the Constitution. They have implied powers, which are from the elastic clause, where it says in the Constitution, make all necessary and proper laws. Their main overall duty is to pass laws. Article 2 talks about the executive branch, which is the president. It was created in response to the weaknesses in the Articles of Confederation. Powers granted to the president are broad and vague. The main duty is to carry out or enforce law and protect life, liberty, and property of citizens. Article 3 is about the judicial branch. The Supreme Court is basically what that is, and courts at the federal and state level. The federal courts deal with constitutional law, and the state courts deal with state constitutions and laws. The Supreme Court judges are appointed for life. Their main duty is to review laws and decide if they are constitutional. The amendments to the Constitution are the conclusion. The United States changes a law in 200 years. So the Constitution is a living document, which means it can be changed when that's needed. 2 methods for amendment of the Constitution. We have the formal amendment process and the informal amendment process. The formal amendment process is Article 5. You need 2/3 of each house's votes and 3/4 of all states to ratify, or 3/4 of all states to call a national convention. 33 amendments have been proposed and sent to states, but only 27 were passed. Formal amendments actually alter or add words to the Constitution. Informal amendments are just a change in the application or interpretation that does not change the wording of the actual Constitution. And that's all for Lesson 5. Lesson 6 of the United States Government. The 6 Principles of the Constitution. A principle is a rule or belief that helps guide a person's actions, the idea that forms the basis of something. Principle number 1, popular sovereignty. This means that the people rule. People are the most important source of power. In colonial times, this meant white men with property. In 1830s, this became all white men. The 15th Amendment allowed black men to vote, or African American. The 19th Amendment allowed women to vote, and the 26th Amendment allowed anyone who was 18 years or older to vote. Principle number 2 says limited government. Government can only do what the people want it to. The government is held accountable by election, impeachment, and democratic institutions. The powers are limited by the Constitution. Principle 3. Separations of powers. The powers of the government are divided into the legislative, executive, and judicial branches. Principle number 4. Checks and balances. The branches of government are worked together, but they also limit each other's power. This makes it hard to get things done, but it lowers the risk that power will be abused. Principle number 5. Federalism. Power and responsibility are shared between national, state, and local government. Some powers for national, some powers for state, and some are for both. The powers that are for states are called reserved powers. The powers that are for both states and national government are called shared or concurrent powers. Here we have some examples. Some powers that are granted to national governments are the power to declare war, the power to create and maintain armed forces, and the power to establish a postal office. Some powers that are just for states are the power to establish and maintain schools, the power to conduct elections, the power to provide for public safety, and the power to regulate trade within states. Some concurrent, or powers that are for both the state and national government, are the power to raise taxes, the power of criminal justice, the power to borrow money, the power to charter banks, the power to build roads, and the power to provide for public welfare. Principle number 6 is judicial review. This involves the Supreme Court, which has 9 judges that are appointed by the President and approved by the Senate. They serve for a life term and hear cases about the Constitution. They review laws passed by Congress, states, and the President, and they can declare that something is unconstitutional. And that is all of Lesson 6.